On platforms, what's good, fam? Cooking as usual, still going over the Tate and PBD podcast interview, trying to drag as much valuable information out of that shit that I can give you guys so you guys can keep cooking in your lives, achieving your goals, and just reaching the peak of your masculinity, of course. But even before we get into that, there's actually one thing I want to talk about real fast. Just because it's on top of mind. I love just having shit that's on top of mind before I even come into the stream. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this shit. Like niggas need to understand this shit. All right. So I just want to make sure all my other shit's set. All right, I got the tab pulled up already. Let me just already start screen sharing. All right, so what I was gonna say was talking about female friends and homegirls, whatever you want to fucking call it, platonic female friend, whatever you want to call that shit. That shit is very dumb for you as a man. You should have no homegirls or female friends or any platonic female friends. The reason for this is that it's an unfair deal for you as a man. And what can quickly make you understand this is that whenever you're out with your homegirls or your platonic female friends, you still have a burden of performance. And what I mean by this is if you guys were to be attacked, it's just you and her, and you guys were to be attacked, it would now be your responsibility to fight and die to protect her. Understand? And you probably low key know this already in your mind. You probably already know this, like, hey man, if some shit went down, I would have to come to her rescue. I would have to do something about it, right? Have to fight and die because I'm not going to sit here as a man because you know you're a man, you're aware of it. You're not going to sit here as a man and let some dude attack her and just be standing there watching. Or if somebody grabbed her purse and ran off with the shit, you're not going to just stand there and be watching. You're going to be forced to jump into action. But your life is also at risk now. So think about it like this. Every single time you are with your homegirl or your female friend, now your life is at risk every single time you are with her because you could potentially have to fight and die for her. And then what do you get out of that? In comparison, that's of equal or relative value. A good personality, a fun person to talk to. Like, I understand you might like that shit, my nigga, but that's not worth it. Your life is not worth that. The reason why it's cool to hang out with women if you're smashing them, and it's the best way to operate, is because it's a fair trade here. Because what does sex lead to? It leads to a baby. So you're willing to give up your life for the potential of another life, understand? You're willing to fight and die to protect a woman because she's going to have your children or your baby. I'm not saying you're smashing these broads to try to have kids. You definitely shouldn't be doing that. You should be focused on your goals and your ambitions and achieving the shit you want to achieve in life. But the point that I'm trying to make here is it's a fair deal then when you're with them. It's equal there. But if you're just out here giving a woman your time, attention, and protection, and she's not even smashing you, completely unfair deal for you as a man. It's just not fair. And I want to look out for what's best for your time and attention as a man. You don't want to waste your time and attention on a woman who, quite honestly, doesn't even give you that much value back. He's like, oh, she might be cool. She might have a cool personality, but your homies could be cool and have nice personalities and actually teach you things because they understand the male experience. So there's no female friend you can have that would be better than any of your male friends. Understand? Like, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're friends with a girl or you're platonic friends with a girl or whatever it is, and you're putting yourself in a situation where you have to potentially fight and die for this woman. And she not even smashing you, my nigga. Oh, fucking cooked. So no female friends, no homegirls, no nothing. If you're gonna hang around a chick regularly, you have to be smashing her because it's the only thing that actually makes it worthwhile. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're risking your life for no reason, especially for something that's honestly just not worth it. So just keep that in mind, y'all. But anyway, powerful way to start the stream. No female friends, none of that shit. You do not need that shit. All right, let's cook now.
Up and forcing them to do something, sex or wash dishes, whatever. That's what I thought human trafficking was. But in this insane subjective world where women are children who can be fooled into anything, they're saying human trafficking is, no, you used the lover boy method. You were nice to her. And because you were nice to her and you used financial incentives to make her do something, you're telling me I was nice to my girlfriend and bought her a handbag and that made her do something? And that's human trafficking? Guys, analyze this. If you are
This is also why, like, a lot of words are like, and this is why you'll see with a lot of my YouTube content, which you should just definitely go check out my YouTube right now at Ali Argunade, unless you're already watching on YouTube. But in a lot of my videos, I always go in and out of my way to try to define words, especially in the context of like achieving a particular thing, because kind of what he's describing here in terms of like human trafficking is that any word could basically be used to describe, can mean anything. Because when you think about human trafficking, you think about something that's very evil or malicious, or like basically a girl just getting picking up off the street, thrown in a van, tied up, all the other shit, and then she ends up in like Mexico or Colombia or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But from his perspective here, he's basically describing the fact that it can basically mean if you just take care of a girl, that's considered human trafficking. You manipulated her by taking care of her and doing your job as a man, which is stupid, which is why whenever anyone uses, I want to say human trafficking is a buzzword, but whenever people use words, you always want to know what they mean in terms of behavior. Like, what does that actually mean? So, like, because nowadays, and this is especially true of like liberals, because liberals are fucking stupid. You can be called, oh, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, or you're anti-Semitic, or you're misogynist, or whatever. Like, they'll use all these stupid words. And the thing is, these words kind of feel like they don't mean anything. Like, especially what I just talked about when it came to female friends. Like, a lot of people will say, for what I just said, I'm misogynistic. To say that guys should not have female friends and homegirls, and that women are honestly useless outside of reproduction and fucking them and having children with them. I'm like, but it's just like true, because in the scenario I gave, if you as a man are with a woman and you consider a friend, even if you're not smashing her, if you guys are out and about and you guys are suddenly attacked, you're going to have the responsibility to fight and die for her. Is that not true? And shouldn't things be that way? Men should be fighting and dying on behalf of women because women are the weaker sex, right? That's just logic. That's straight facts. But for me, pointing that out, I'd be considered a misogynist. So it's like, does misogyny just mean I tell the truth about how both men and women work? So this is why whenever anyone uses buzzwords or any of these stupid buzzwords against you, you just sit and think to yourself, like, what does this even mean, though? You're saying I'm this thing, but what does that mean? Tell me the behavior that I'm doing, right? Because words don't mean anything unless you could describe the behavior that is being demonstrated. Because, I mean, anyway, that's just what you should think about. Just always like think about whenever someone is called a buzzword or said this person is this, that, or whatever. Think to yourself, like, well, what are they doing that is making them that thing? What are they demonstrating? Because words don't mean nothing unless we can demonstrate the behavior. If someone is a misogynist, okay, tell them what they're doing. What are they doing that's making them that way? Is telling the truth mean I'm a misogynist? Does telling the truth about literally anything make me a bad person? Because that's really what it is nowadays that I've also just noticed in society, bro. It's just like honesty is just seen as evil nowadays. If you're honest about something or a situation or what you clearly see or patterns that you're recognizing, apparently that just makes you a bad person. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to pull out from him, what he's describing here. It's just like, it's stupid that somebody will use a heinous word or a word that's seen as heinous, but what is being described isn't even that bad. If I take care of my girl, if I take care of my girl, all of a sudden I'm a human trafficker because I'm taking care of her. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So
nice to a woman and buy her a present and she does anything ever, even if you didn't tell her to do it, they could say, he made her do that. He made her have TikTok. And even if she says, no, he didn't make me have TikTok, like the girls in my case saying, no, he didn't hurt us. The girls in my case are defending me. Doesn't matter what you say, he brainwashed you. He made you have TikTok because he bought you handbags. Guys, please understand.
We just pick and choose. We choose to treat them like children when we want to. And then sometimes we're like, all right, whatever.
No man is safe from this bullshit. No man is safe.
Crazy.
And that's why they keep this so vague. People talk about consent all the time. You need to get consent, get consent. How can you get something they can take away years later?
Mm-hmm.
You can't get consent. That's why a huge...
And what does that even... Once again, the definition of that is also continuously changing. What is consent? Okay, she has to say she's okay with it. Okay, but if she says she's okay with it and then rescinds that she's okay with it, did she ever actually give me consent? Because they use this word like consent in the way as if when it is said, it's a automatic state of being. Like if you deal with a girl or you smash a girl, all of a sudden, okay, if she gives you consent, you could do it. But if like she can then turn around and say that I actually raped her later on or years later, that means I never got consent then. Because they make the word consent seem as if once consent is given, it's straight, it's great. But apparently it can be taken away at any point in time. So the truth is no man on the planet right now, which actually, isn't this wild to think about? No man on the planet right now actually has ever gotten consent from a girl. And even Tate's situation is actually a perfect example of this. Like, if you've slept with any girl, smashed any girl, and then you become extremely famous, you make a lot of money, you gain a lot of status, right? any girl can basically say you raped them, and niggas will believe them. So basically, no man on the planet actually has gotten consent at this point anymore. No man has ever gotten consent ever, because it can be rescinded at any time, meaning it's valueless, meaning consent doesn't even matter. There's no such thing as consent. Because if any girl can just be like, oh, no, he actually raped me years later, and you actually have to go to trial, go to court, and have a lawsuit against you for it, then this means that no man ever has gotten consent ever in his life. Even if she enthusiastically said, oh, yeah, I want to do this. Years later, she can just decide, oh, no, I actually didn't want to do that. It's like, okay, so we niggas can never get consent ever again. We're just setting bad precedents.
Portion of the men, the young men in the world today, are just checking out girls and checking out sex. Like, oh, fuck this. It's a mess.
Like, nah, it's dangerous. It's really it's dangerous out here in this motherfucker, bro.
I can't blame them.
It's dangerous out in this motherfucker.
Field. Nobody's safe from this garbage. Absolutely nobody.
So, by the way,
crazy
debate. Do you ever watch a debate, presidential debate, and you say, man, I'd love to be on the stage debating somebody? Do you ever itch for it or no?
Sometimes.
I would love to.
Sometimes, yeah.
I would love to be in a presidential debate, bro. I'd be it'd be funny as shit, bro. I'd be going hard as fuck. It would be funny as shit. And it's honestly, I think kind of like maybe, what was it, 3-4 years ago? How many years ago? At least, okay, when Biden and Trump were having their presidential debate. So like 5 years ago. I remember I was watching it, and I wasn't even really into politics like that during that period. But I remember I was watching, I'm like, wait, these two guys are supposed to be potentially leading this country. And they're arguing like, it's kind of like the arguments you'll be seeing like in high school. Like high school niggas arguing with each other, like not even really debating or arguing with topics, just kind of like insulting each other the whole time. I'm like, nigga, this is a presidential argument. I would expect, some aura to this, some order to this, but apparently that's not the case. So I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I'm like, I would let it be okay. So in a presidential debate, you could just go in there and just insult the other nigga. I'm like, I bet. Like I could do that shit. That'd be lit. But now, oh my God, it would be so fun to be in a presidential debate. I honestly want to run for president. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I remember I posted on my threads on Instagram, like, I don't know, I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago. I'm like, in the next 20 to 40 years, I want to run for president. So I'm going to go back to that thread that I made a while back and be like, well, 20 to 40 years from now, I'm be like, damn, I remember I said I was going to run for president. I actually did that shit, but I would love to run for president, bro. I want to run for president so bad. I think I would do such a good job of running the country, bro. I think I would, I'd be the coldest president, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'd be the coldest president all the time. But anyway, we'll see, man. If I gain enough money and status and time, like, because it's expensive to be president, bro. Hold on. Let me see how much it costs. Because I used to know this, but I don't know it off the top of my head anymore. I'm going to show you niggas, too, so you guys can see. I want to see how expensive it is to run for president. Hold on. How expensive is it to run for president? Let me see. Bro, I actually wanted the AI overview, man. Give me the AI. We got time to be searching. How much? Okay. A massive sum of money. Why did I open 2 tabs? Okay. Yada, yada, yada. No, bro. I just want to see how much does it cost. Just see. Why is it opening 2 tabs? What the fuck is going on? Hold on. I'll say 2025. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up so you niggas can see it. Fundraising donations. Okay. How much does it cost to run for president on average? Super fucking ads. Blah, blah, blah. Damn. Apparently, it's looking like 11 $11 billion, bro, which is wild. It costs $11 billion to run for president, bro. I mean, at least to do it at like a significant level, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this was from 2020, but they said, I mean, wait, hold on. Spending in the race between president and former president expected to be nearly. So, I mean, I don't know if this is them together in 2020, but I guess this was between both of them. It's $11 billion, which is still fucking insane, bro. So it's actually hard, like ridiculously expensive to like run for president successfully. So damn, I'm going to need to make at least like $1 billion bare minimum if I want to run for president. I'm gonna have to make like bare minimum $11 billion. Chat, like that's fucking wild. No, I mean that's not. I mean it's not bare minimum because I think that's combined. I don't know what the split is, or if Trump like spent like let's say 5 million and then Biden spent 6 billion. I don't know. I mean, or Trump spent 5 billion and then Biden spent 6 billion. But yeah, so I would need to be at least a billionaire to run for president effectively. Like I'm saying, at a level where I could actually campaign super hard and like do all that shit, bro. I'd have to spend so much money. That's actually crazy. But I know I'd be lit though. Let's see if I can make 11 billion or at least 1 billion. And I'd want to do it. Like it'd be lit as fuck. Anyway, let's continue. And I have to keep that in mind.
I love. Yeah, sometimes. Let me ask why you're asking the question.
I'm asking a question because I watch you, and you know we've spent I don't know how many times we've done this. So this is we're on our 12th hour, right, of doing podcasts, and we've only done 3. And first 2, each of them was 5 hours. We have the conversations together, and I watch you make your arguments, make your case, right? To think how your father shaped you and Tristan's mindset. If I have an impression of your father was like, he was a guy that would teach you sequencing and to do to the enemy what he or she is trying to do to you. Absolutely. Okay, mentally, right? I mean, and by the way, part of it is,
I mean, his dad was a chess player, so it was a lot of tactics that this nigga would be using.
What you have to do when you're raising strong kids, you have to do it because, especially in today's society, it's a very tough society. Was a part of you wanting
at least if you plan to raise your children in the West, bro, it's going to be hard as fuck, bro. I'm going to be honest, bro. Your kid going to a public elementary school, seeing trans flags everywhere, seeing BLM everywhere, bro. You cooked, bro. So raising them in the West, bro, cooked, man.
Run for prime minister.
I saw when I decided to have kids in like 10 years, bro. I'm like, damn. Would I really raise them here, bro? That'd be kind of. I mean, I love the U.S. though. Dubai seems like a good place. I've been hearing a lot of people trying to like just be. If you're rich, obviously have a lot of money, you move to Dubai and start raising your kids there instead of like here because it's like there's too much negative outside influence that your kid can be exposed to here. So it's like it's a dangerous game.
UK, a publicity stunt? Were you sick of it, or were you itching to make the place better?
You know, I think one of the things my father instilled in me, and it came from his teachings and it came from lots of different lessons, but especially it came from chess, is because chess is ruthless. There's a lot of people, especially men, who I'm surprised by this fact, but I would argue it's the truth, who believe their enemies are going to have pity or mercy. There's a lot of men who you'd be surprised believe
that is true.
Pity is going to appear or mercy is going to appear somewhere. And if you change your mindset and change your...
Even before he gets into this, like there's actually something really important that I actually want to take away and extrapolate this and tell you guys, chat. So oftentimes life is hard because we expect it to not be hard. Our expectations rule how our life is going to be, right? We suffer more in our imagination than we do in reality because what we expect reality to be is what causes us to suffer or not. If you expect something to be a certain way and it's not a certain way, you get mad. If you expect it to be sunny tomorrow and instead it's raining tomorrow, you feel frustrated. Maybe not wildly frustrated, but you naturally feel frustrated. And not even just with difficulty, but a lot of guys think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, when really there's just more tunnels. The game of life is suffering and pain endlessly, all the time, forever. Like, to be human is to be stressed because that means you're alive. If you're not stressed, you're essentially dead. If you have nothing to think about, you're essentially dead, right? So as long as you are alive, you're going to have problems. You are going to have issues. Your life is going to be hard. Existing is hard. It is difficult. That's what it means to exist. And if you accept that things are hard, if you go into life, if you go into your ambitions or pursuing your goals or whatever and expecting the shit to be hard, then it becomes easy. I also made a YouTube video on this, but just to explain it again here, it's like you want to play your life in a way where it's like, I'm expecting this to be hard. It is going to be stressful. I'm going to go through shit. As Tate even just mentioned here, your enemies are not going to have mercy on you. There is no pity for you, right? You can do great things and wonderful things in this world and people will still hate you. Understand, like when you accept all these harsh realities, life becomes very fun because now you're not trying to live against the expectations of reality, and reality is always going to beat out whatever you think. It's always going to beat out whatever you think. Because if you try to make the world a way that it's not, you're only ever going to struggle. You're only ever going to be disappointed. But I promise you, the man who's like, you know what, this shit is going to be hard. I'm going to be frustrated. This shit is stressful. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. My enemies will never, ever have mercy on me. They do not care about me. They do not seek pity in me. Right? They will try to take advantage of me. People will try to hurt me. People are going to betray my trust. People will betray me. Like if you accept all these bad potential scenarios, which is actually reality. Now I don't even want to say bad scenarios, but if you accept these harsh realities, like your life becomes great. Because now you're not fighting against any false expectations. You're not fighting against any false beliefs. You're like, this is what it means to be alive. This is what it means to be alive. This is what it means to be a human being. This is what it means to exist. I'm telling you, when you approach life that way, bro, you just start cooking. And I always approach life this way. I'm constantly looking for harsher, and I really want you guys to do this too. But I'm constantly looking for harsher realities about the world and about existing as a human being. I want to hear the most harsh shit possible about what it means to be a human being, about what it means to be a man in general, and existing as a man. Because when I know all of these things, I'm like, okay, bet. If I accept that this is reality, then I'm just going to move accordingly now. I know this is how the world is. And now I can be fulfilled and happy in the world because I know actually how it works. A lot of men are sad or depressed or angry or frustrated because they expected the world to be a way that it's not. And if you decide to be like, you know what, I'm going to accept the world as it is and still succeed accordingly to whatever reality is, you win. It's really just that simple, y'all, but it's really up to you to make that decision. So we keep cooking.
Framing to understand that your enemies are never going to have mercy on you. They're never going to see you as a human. They're never going to feel sorry for you ever. Then the only end result to that is action. And the only action is to fight back. There's a whole lot of men who go, oh, you know, well, if I'm just quiet or if I just behave or if I'm just good in front of the police or if I'm just nice to the judge, they'll let me off. No, they won't. Your enemies are out here to mercilessly crush you. They don't care about what happens to you. They do not feel responsible for the consequences. They do not have empathy for you. They're not interested in any of that. Look what the liberals tried to do to
this. Is just so facts. And I'm telling you, your life is fun when you know this. When you know nobody is going to take mercy on you, chat. When you know this, when you accept this, when you're like, okay, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the fact that shit's going to be hard. Niggas are going to be ruthless against me. It's merciless out here. Life is hard. You just take in every single harsh reality that there is. You're just like, you know what? This is true. This is reality. You can win now. Life is fun. It's like it literally becomes a video game now. Imagine trying to enjoy a video game and you don't accept the rules. You can't. You can only enjoy a video game once you accept the rules. So accept the rules, and then you can enjoy the game. But if you don't want to accept the rules, you can never enjoy the game, right? But the thing with life is you're still in the game. So if you don't accept the rules, your life is just going to remain hard forever, you know? So
conservatives, when they had power, the biggest problem with conservatives is we don't do that, right? We're going to allow our enemies to just walk around and get away with everything, right? But when they're in power, they crush mercilessly. That comes from chess.
Censorship is a great example of this. Like conservatives always get censored all the time whenever Democrats are in power, bro, or liberals are in power, bro. Conservatives get censored to absolutely fucking hell because it's like the way that liberals move and act is like they're always acting like they're the good guys, but do evil shit. Understand? Like they claim that the conservatives are fascists and whatever, but they literally do all the shit that fascists do. They censor everybody. They silence everybody. They don't want any conversations going on anywhere that dissent from the main base or the main premise of whatever they got going on. This is literally why they created the whole Blue Sky app, just so they could leave to continue their groupthink. Like they literally have they use the exact same tactics that fascists do, and then will claim you're a fascist. That's literally what they do. That's their primary tactic. This is the manipulation that they use. And then a lot of conservatives just kind of sit by and they're like, oh, we're not evil. I'm like, nigga, you're letting niggas do evil shit in your face and not doing anything about it. That means you're enabling the evil, meaning you're actually evil too. So I need you guys to understand that, like, that's just really what goes on a lot of the time. Anyway.
When you're getting crushed in a chess position, praying that he's nice to you in a tournament is insane. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
When you're in the cage and you're fighting and you're on the bottom and he's
Go and
grounding
get
and
cooked.
pounding you, you can't sit there and go, maybe he'll feel sorry for me. None of this is real. None of this is real.
Yeah.
So when I look at the UK, I look how insane it is. I look how
this is also why violence is the underpinning of all society is violence. It really is just fighting and killing and violence. The only reason why bad things aren't happening to you right now, wherever you're at, is because of violence. Because if somebody came to you or wherever you're at right now and tried to do some bad shit to you, you could call the police. And what would the police do? They would come and be violent to whoever the assailant is. Understand? So the underpinning of the world is actually violence. Merciless violence, lethal violence, killing is the underpinning of all things in all societies. The only reason why you could sit and be calm and, be watching this stream right now is simply because nobody can just pull up and attack you. And even if somebody does, you just call the police. They killed the nigga. Right? So keep these things in mind. I think because we live in such a safer time, we live in the modern world, we often forget the brutality of life. Like, we deeply forget the brutality of life because we forget the fact that, oh shit, niggas be dying. Like, niggas are fighting and dying in wars right now. Not all wars that we're aware of, but they're fighting and dying because that's the underpinning of what builds anything. Stability is built off violence. It has to be every single time. So never forget that shit. Understand that the reason why you're chilling right now is because niggas are willing to fight and die. So I guess, anyway, as men, we kind of understand this. We understand this shit a lot more just because, we understand it for, talking shit to another dude. We're like, hey, fuck you, bro. And it escalates from there. We know we're going to fight. So, we understand violence is, always a constant threat. This is why we tend to be nicer and more cordial. Women do not understand violence like we do because women don't get punished violently for things. You know what I'm saying? Most guys will this is actually why I learned it. Something crazy I actually learned is that in most DV cases, usually it's just the girl beating the guy. And in the cases that end up getting serious, that, makes the news that everybody hears about, both of them end up beating each other. The girl is being violent to the guy and the guy is also beating her. So it's mutual combat. But in most scenarios, there's tons of dudes who are in abusive relationships in the point where the woman is just beating the dude. Because most dudes are not going to they're not going to hit a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I found is actually interesting, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Trying to destroy my life. I look at how they're wrecking the country. I look at how everything's a complete mess. I don't sit there and expect these people to one day wake up empathetic. I don't expect them to one day wake up and get a brain or wake up one day and realize what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, hell no.
I see them as violent oppressors who have no intention to do anything other than instill full communism amongst the entire population. So there's only one choice. You either let them do it or you fight back. What are you going to do? You either let them get away with it or you resist them.
Mm-hmm.
So my intention
because a lot of shit that is evil. It's and this is this is more because at least I keep saying back then, but it's just so true to me. Back then, at least, whenever you had a disagreement with somebody, in the more barbaric time, you would just kill them. You just fight and just kill each other. Now that we're in a more modern time, a safer time, it's instead of it's just slowly eroding your mind to make you accept evil shit. This is, once again, what liberals tend to do. They tend to say, no, we just want equality. We just want everyone to be happy. We want everybody to be loved. And then when you look at what's objectively going on in terms of behaviors, niggas' dicks are getting chopped off. You know what I'm saying? Gay guys can just be naked in the street. 2 gay guys can get married and then adopt children. You see what I'm saying? It's obviously evil shit when you if you never heard about the ideology or what is being claimed that we just want equality and all love for all, you would think to yourself, oh, no, this isn't that bad. But if you sit back for a second and let's say, imagine you didn't hear all of that a lot of liberals will spew out and you just looked at the behaviors that they're enacting, you would think that, oh my God, these niggas are fucking evil. And they are. It is evil, literally incarnate. Liberalism is literally evil incarnate nowadays. But you don't think that only because they will advertise it as this equality thing or everybody should be loved or whatever, but the behaviors show the exact opposite. 2 guys getting married and adopting a kid. Do you think that's good for a child? Probably fucking not. So it's all these different things. You have to, one thing, okay, this is actually something I've learned very deeply. Or it started to become more and more real for me. Behavior is everything. Words mean nothing. And maybe you've heard that before, that actions speak louder than words, which is true. But I'm telling you to like really only pay attention to action, because you can easily get convinced that somebody is doing a good thing by their words. Like if they say, "Oh, I'm doing this good thing," or "I'm doing this benevolent thing," or "I'm a good person." This is what a lot of bad people do. They're like, "I'm a good person." They'll tell you they're a good person. They'll say, "I'm a good person. I'm a good person." And as human beings, like we kind of take somebody at their word at first. At least we're like, "Oh, you're a good person. Okay, fine." And then they do some evil shit. They kill somebody, whatever, shoot somebody, whatever, lie, manipulate people, and you're like, "Bro, I thought you were a good person." And then what they'll do is they'll double down. They'll be like, "I am a good person. I do good things." Right? I'll take the liberals, for example. "Oh, we do want equality for all, but we don't really fuck with white people that much. Oh, we want everybody to be free to do whatever they want to do. So we should allow children to cut their dicks off and switch their genders before they can even start to formulate cohesive, logical thoughts at a higher age." No, they already know they want to be a girl at 13, at 11, at 10. They already know. So we should cut their dick off. We should get them surgery that they can never change back from. That's a great idea. For equality. And it's like, yeah, I get you're saying you want everybody to be happy and equal, but what you're doing looks completely opposite from that, because you're taking very impressionable children and making them do things that could potentially ruin their lives in the future before they can even make cohesive decisions for their long term. And it's like, no, this is fine. So I'm saying this all to say about evil people and what you guys should, why I was saying before, like actions speak louder than words. Only pay attention to behavior at all times. Don't ignore what anyone ever says. Who cares what anyone ever says? What are people doing? We are what we do, not what we say, not what we think. We are what we do. So anybody can paint their behavior as anything, but if you look at their behavior objectively, you're like, no, this is wrong. Like it doesn't matter that you're saying that you're doing this for the betterment of humanity or for the betterment of other people or whatever. If I look at the behavior and it's wrong, it's wrong. It's evil. I'm seeing your behavior and it's evil. So always pay attention to people's actions, never what they say, because anybody can say anything or anybody can glaze over their behavior that is evil and act as if it is good. So just some shit to keep deeply in mind, chat.
UK Prime Minister is absolutely 100% legitimate. I want to save the country I grew up in, because if I don't do it, they're going to succeed. There's only ever been a good man against a bad man. If you're going to let the bad men run rampant, they're going to finally conquer.
And that's also enabling too. I like people who sit by and do nothing are also evil to me too. Like I'm never like, bro, when it comes to evil and evil people, it's not always about doing the evil shit that an evil person is doing. It's knowing that somebody's doing something that is obviously evil and being okay with it. And even worse, sitting there and claiming you're a good person because you don't like what they're doing, but you're not doing anything about it. It's the same thing. It's still evil, bro. In fact, you embolden evil people like that. If I'm evil and I know people who claim they're good are not going to stop me from doing evil, I'd be happy. I'd be thrilled. I'd be like, oh, thank God. Look at me. I'm an evil ass motherfucker and I'm going to go out and do whatever fuck I want. Nobody's going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be a good person if you're not strong, bro. It's like you can't. It's like the opposite. Superman wouldn't be Superman unless he was strong. Batman wouldn't be Batman unless he was strong. Spider-Man wouldn't be Spider-Man unless he was strong. Goku wouldn't be Goku unless he was strong. Naruto wouldn't be Naruto unless he was strong. Like, good people have to be strong to stop bad people, or you can't. You're just enabling them.
So I am absolutely serious about saving the United Kingdom if I can. I'm going to do my absolute best. That's why they want to put me in jail. They know I'm a threat to them politically. They know that. That's why they want to lock me up for my tweets.
What do you think happened to UK?
I can tell you what happened to the UK. I have a lot of theories. Firstly,
they let a lot of niggas in.
I would argue
that are not pro UK.
that the royal family was collapsed by therapy and psychiatry. This is
literally made a video on my YouTube, by the way, so you could go check that shit out. I literally made a video on my YouTube yesterday why I said therapy is gay and does not actually help men, because therapy fundamentally doesn't understand how men actually operate and find fulfillment. So yeah, I could go over it again, but you could just check out that YouTube video if you want to. So
theory I've come up with completely out of nowhere.
Literally, like you believe this.
You know, when I got the 17%, I'm just that guy. I just know things.
Okay.
Right? I just know things. I would argue that the royal family, which was the backbone of the United Kingdom, was being held together by the Queen. When the Queen died, I said to Tristan, this is the end of England. The queen was the last respectable member of the royal family. I like Kate and Will. I like them. But I would argue that when Diana died, the boys were put through endless therapy and psychotherapy and all of this garbage.
And I'm telling you, and that's when everything gets cooked because, see, I don't want to go over it again because I already talked about it, but like, just like, bruh, for men, we're action based. It's like, for me, what I've noticed is that you can only improve, like, women's lives get improved by talking to them and caring for them. You know what I'm saying? Those, like, women who are depressed, they find value in being loved and cared for. That's literally how women get out of depression. So if a woman is depressed, it means that she's not being loved and cared for enough. That's the real truth. That's where the depression comes from. She's not being loved and cared for enough. But when a man is depressed, it's almost always because he's not doing anything. A man does not need to be talked to. He needs to manipulate. He needs to create. He needs to gain control over his environment and what's around him for him to really feel fulfilled with his life. Like when you sit around and you don't do anything, like as a man, it's like you're not even using your God-given gift. You're not using your strength. Like God gives you the ability to manipulate the world around you. You're not using it. What is there for you to be fulfilled about? If you're a man and you're angry, well, you need something to release that anger on, you know, because if you're like, especially like, and this is why I think exercising is so useful for men. And it's like one of the main ways that men pull themselves out of depression, because when you have all these very strong emotions and you have no way to really release it in a productive manner, you lead yourself to self-destruction naturally. But like when a man gets in the gym when he's depressed and he starts working out, like all these emotions that he feels, he has a way to exercise and release them. So it grounds him. It's like it actually allows. It's like it's weird, but like for men, it's like what allows us to think is actually action. When you give us something to do, when you give us something to fight and die for, now our mind is working at its best. This is when our mind is solving problems in ways that we otherwise wouldn't be able to because we just sat and did nothing. So that's how I see it, chat.
I think it is one of the largest and most dangerous industries in the world today. It's as dangerous as pharmaceuticals. Making full-grown men sit down and cry and talk about how hard their life is is the worst thing you can do with full-grown men. I really would argue. I would argue it's not a real science. I would argue it's subjective garbage. And I would argue there's nothing that will destroy your mind faster than therapy.
Yeah.
I think the entire world.
You're just thinking about thinking instead of doing. It's just it's therapy. It fundamentally, like I said, bro, it just fundamentally misunderstands what men are actually like. That's the issue with it. It doesn't understand what we find fulfillment in. And it's always action for us. I'm telling you, you just capability. No man can be super capable and depressed. It just never happens. As I also mentioned in the stream yesterday, like as long as a man is capable and can tell the truth, there's nothing for him to be depressed about.
Family was completely hijacked by these therapists and these psychoanalysts that turned everything weird. That's why Meghan and what's his name? The one who married Meghan. I can't remember his name. Harry's weird with Meghan. She bosses him around. Like, it's all just weird.
Harry is not the top G.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I think all of that's down to psychiatry. We could talk about why I have my theories on psychiatry a little bit after. So that's the royal family. As for the political class, the Europeans currently are stuck in a very difficult scenario because I really don't see how they currently align with the United States government on nearly anything.
They can't.
They're full communist. They're full femme-centric. It's a matriarchy. It is collapsing.
Well, we are too, to be real. Like we are a matriarchy for the most part too. It's like the women literally control the entire, I'll say, social order that we operate in. Obviously, we are still the ones who are violent and enforce things because we still obviously run the police, run the government, run the military, but it's complete and utter women empowerment nowadays. Like it's just all women. Like women are not allowed to be criticized openly in public. Like it's seen as very bad. It's like horrible. Like if you're caught saying anything negative about women, canceled, ruined, whatever, your name is slandered instantly. Oh, but you can talk shit about men all day. Nobody gives a fuck. So that's just kind of where we're at right now.
Real time economically. The men which reside inside of Europe don't seem to have enough in them to resist this enslavement and this population replacement, which is another huge thing we have to talk about in Europe. Europe's being completely destroyed and there's no masculinity to resist it, it seems. If you destroy masculinity inside of a society, the society is ripe for conquest. Mm-hmm. And the average man in Europe simply is not man enough to get other men together, to find other men to resist.
No, he actually said, and you know, it's funny because Tate actually said something very interesting that I saw where he was like, and I was like, yo, that's actually so fucking facts, bro. Like he was like, the average guy in the UK is more concerned with how his favorite football team is performing and soccer team for American guys. Like the average Englishman is more concerned with how his soccer team is performing in the league than he is with his country and defending his country, and how his country is basically getting invaded by the third world. He doesn't care, but he's more concerned with how Arsenal is performing or Man U's performing or Tottenham's performing. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show us, like, when it comes to the country itself, most Englishmen are completely demoralized. And I was like, wow, that is actually fucking ridiculous. But anyway, I would kind of say the same thing about the West in terms of the United States as well. Like, most dudes are more concerned with their favorite basketball team or their football team than they are with the affairs of the United States. You know what I'm saying? And especially how we've been infiltrated by a foreign government very aggressively in the name of Israel, right? So it's like, it's weird, but it's like a lot of men, and this is also, I think, that all men should be regularly watching the news. This is also something for me that I've started to get a lot more into as I've gotten older. Like, you should be like, how can you protect yourself as a man? I think it's actually interesting, but I've noticed. I'll tell you guys, chat. How can you protect yourself as a man if you do not know what's going on in the world or your country? You can't. And I think the younger you are, right, the sooner you actually can get into politics and understand what's going on in the world, the better. Because when you understand what is going on in the world, you can actually protect yourself. You know, if you don't know, if you don't study politics, if you don't watch the news, if you don't know what's going on, like, you can't protect yourself from threats that you're not aware of. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Like, if your job as a man is to provide and protect, namely for women or your family, correct? Well, you can't protect if you don't know what's going on and you're just kind of free balling life and you're distracted with sports or other dumb nonsense, which a lot of men are, to be honest. So, like, our entire society could be getting cooked or fucked up right now, and most men wouldn't care, because most men don't pay attention to the news or politics or what's going on at all. And don't get me wrong here. I've also been a proponent of this. I've also been someone who's done this in the past, where I'm like, damn, I don't give a fuck about politics. I'm more concerned with my goals and achieving my goals and everything. And that's fine. But it's like, at the end of the day, for you as a man, it's just ridiculously important to know what's going on so you can actually protect yourself and those you care about. If you don't know what's going on, you can't protect those that you care about. You know, you can't ensure your safety or the safety of those you love if you don't know what's going on. So I think it's important for all men to be paying attention to politics, to be paying attention to the news, even while you're pursuing your main goals. Like, you're still pursuing your main goals or whatever. I'm not saying become a politician or whatever. That's not my point here. I'm saying just know what's going on. Be aware of what's going on. Don't just pay attention to the news and politics every single 4 years when there's an election. Always know what's going on. Always have your ear and really know what's going on, because this ensures that you can actually protect yourself, and you can also be prepared for things, right? Nobody can predict the future, but if you know the news, you know what's going on in politics, it puts you in a position where you're always well protected, or at least prepared for what's to come, you know? So we keep cooking, chat. We keep going. All right.
But let's talk about this. This is an important point. I take my glasses off for this because it's extremely important. Europe has destroyed free speech. Why does this matter? I'll tell you why this matters.
It's still wild in the UK.
If you're
it's like that.
Or if you're in charge, you can lie. So if you're in charge of things, you can stand up in front of the cameras and say, I'm going to do X. And then behind the scenes, you can do Y. You're allowed to lie because you have actual power. Whereas if you are not powerful, your only power is in numbers. So you can't lie, because you need to find other people who align with you and think like you do so that you can win in large numbers. So you have to be able to say what you think and say what you feel to find the other members of your army so you can all stand up and get in a crowd and say enough is enough. So
which is facts, which is actually crazy that the UK doesn't have free speech. And I've actually noticed that so many Americans do not understand the value of free speech is actually ridiculous. Like, the fact that we can actually go out and say whatever we want, you know, as long as we're not inciting violence, bare minimum. Like, the fact that we can go out and say whatever we want is ridiculously powerful. This means that nobody can be in a powerful position in our country and be able to technically do whatever they want. Because if we find out they say they're going to do something and they decide to do something completely different, we could be like, nigga, what the fuck? These niggas are not doing what they said they're going to do. What the hell? And other people can find out and now know. And this has actually only been exacerbated by the fact of social media. Like, now that we have social media and news is flying all across the world at insane speeds, like, we're in a position where everybody can actually always talk and be like, what the fuck is going on? Hey, this nigga say he's going to do this shit, but he's not doing it. But in the UK, they don't have that shit. Like, imagine your government can actually be doing things that go completely against everything that you want for the betterment of your country or the people that you're around, and you can't even criticize the behavior. You can't even be like, what the fuck is going on? And if you are like, what the fuck is going on, you go to jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? As even he said here, it's like, yeah, it's legitimately communism. This is literally communism. You can't criticize anyone at all. You just have to sit there and be like, say nothing, or you go to jail. Crazy. So like it's actually crazy how much Americans underrate free speech. Free speech is the most goated shit ever, and this is also why I love America, bro. Like the ability to say whatever the fuck you want to is just so ridiculously important. It's ridiculous, you know.
The reason they silence free speech in Europe so heavily is so that you never find the other people who think like you.
Yeah,
That's the reason they shut down social media so hard. So you can't stand up and say this is garbage, because if you do, you go to jail. So even
which
if
is
you
wild.
think it, you don't say it. And as an unimportant man, you can't lie. You can't tweet this is not garbage and still be effective, whereas a billionaire can lie and still be effective. The common man needs speech and needs truth to find an army that allows him to resist oppression.
Oh,
and
God.
that is why Europe is gone psycho, Stalin, full Stasi on speech. That's what they're afraid of. Because if you could tell the truth in England on social media for a week, there'd be a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that. That's why they want me in jail. That's why they don't let anyone tell the truth. They know that. Keir Starmer himself knows that. That's why they.
I'm saying, man, I'm just telling y'all, thank God for free speech in America, bro. That nigga in the UK, they cook, bro. Like, bro, not being able to say, like, I could, bro. I'm telling you, man, that's just, bro, chat, that's just so fucking shit. Like, just not being able to say whatever you want. Like, like, if you're in the UK, you actually can't go on social media and say, like, fuck the president or some shit. Here you could do that, but you can't do that. You literally can't criticize any of the behavior at all. You literally just have to sit there and be like, oh, I'm completely okay with this. Like, how fucking shitty, bro. Like, just how fucking shitty. It's ridiculous, bro. I love free speech so much, man. It's the greatest shit ever, man. Bro, I'm telling you, the founding people really underrate the founding fathers. Them niggas. Yo, them niggas was cooking. Like, I'm telling you, bro. The founding fathers, bro, them niggas were cooking like crazy.
Done what they've done. So the UK has a lack of masculinity. All of Europe does. You add in free speech problems. You add in the fact that you can't find other men to stand beside you at war. You have the odd warrior who pops his head up and gets his head chopped clean off. That's the problem with Europe.
Yeah, he came the other day. I think it was a week and a half ago.
Look at his face. That's the face of evil. Here, when you lock me up in Belmarsh, which I know you're going to do, that's fine. No. That is the face of evil, sir. Look at that. That is incompetence incarnate. Look, that's not a leader. England was the greatest country in the world. I watched. It brought tears to my eyes. I watched the Battle of Cairo. I watched Nelson fight the French fleet. A YouTube video at the Battle of Cairo.
What's the Battle of Cairo? You know what I'm saying? Got to make sure we're increasing our knowledge. Battle of Cairo. Battle of Cairo. Hopefully I spelled this shit right. What the hell? It's talking about something. Okay, let me just switch up. I mean, it probably has something to do with England, right? So, hold on. So you guys can see. Battle of Cairo, England. Okay, based on the provided, there is no evidence to Battle of Cairo is in England. Okay, so maybe he's talking about something else. Or maybe he's just talking about a separate battle, but it just relates to England somehow. I don't know. Anyway, let's just see.
I even tweeted it in full. The heroism showed by the Brits only 200 years ago. These were the best men on the planet. Thailand, tiny island.
Maybe it's Cairo, like with a C. Maybe it's Cairo with a C. Battle of Cairo. Siege of Cairo. Oh, yeah, okay. This is what he was talking about. He was talking about the Siege of Cairo. Hold on. Siege of Cairo was a siege that took place during the French Revolution wars between French and the British with Ottoman forces and was blah blah blah. Penultimate Action of the Egyptian campaign. British commander, blah, 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 advanced to Cairo, where he arrived. Okay, so it was just a battle that happened in Egypt with the, yeah, they just invaded Egypt. The French and the British. Okay. I was just interested because he since he mentioned Battle of Cairo, I was like interested. I'm like, why was this? I guess this was the last really, well, not maybe not the last, but just one of the most heroic things that the British and the French did. Advanced to where the French are no legend, taking the post to the holding firm. The British force on the 14th continued their march towards the capital of Egypt and on their way captured a French armed vessel. Oh damn, the British was going hard, bro. No wonder he was so hyped to talk about this shit, bro. He's just like, man, this shit is so fucking clean. Arch made another movement. Aftermath. Okay. The surrender required by the French was signed and were allowed 17 days of it. Wow. Okay. So this was just an insanely lit ass battle that the British were a part of. But let me see what he keeps saying about this shit too. Okay. We just keep it going, chat.
With the largest empire in history. I was in America till I was 8, but I spent my teenage years in the UK. I feel very British. The British were the hardest, strongest, most resilient people on the planet. When the British were coming
to America, to America, say, fuck no, man. We're like, this is our shit now.
Only the Americans seemed to have beat them. You were scared when the British were coming.
This true or
we
not.
sailed all around.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm probably gonna start studying some more history about England and the UK in general. But yeah, bro, there was a time where England's like Navy, especially. I remember that was the really insane thing that they had was their Navy, bro. Like these motherfuckers in the water, you're cooked, bro. And like he's correct, you're like only us, the Americans, were even really able to fuck these niggas up and be like, man, fuck this nigga, bro. Like fuck these niggas, bro. We did 13 colonies, man. We don't want this shit. We don't fuck the red coats, man. Like, oh god.
The world, we opioid wars in China, Battle of Cairo, Waterloo, you name it. We beat Napoleon. We did. The Brits. And now look, Soyface is locking us up for having an opinion. And we're sitting there on our asses, afraid to say anything. This exact clip will be played in front of a judge when they lock me up. But it has to be said, because that is not the leader of the United Kingdom. That is not the leader the United Kingdom deserves. We need, UK is an even more dire scenario than the United States. We need Trump or someone Trump-esque. And Nigel Farage isn't up to the chart.
Well, I mean, to be honest, even Trump hasn't even been that great, to be real. Especially just because he's still controlled by the Zionist lobby. It's just like, bro, nah, we need somebody who's not controlled by a foreign agent to fuck shit up. If we'd actually really want like a real president, because the last real nigga president we had was JFK, who was not controlled by the Zionist lobby and actually was America first and cared about the American people. But pretty much every single president after him has just shielded for the Zionist lobby to an aggressive degree. So it's like, imagine we have a president that basically works on behalf of a foreign agent every single time. Like pretty much since JFK, and that was in like 1950s. So since then, we've only had presidents that shield for the Zionist lobby and work on behalf of Israel instead of behalf of us. We waste billions of dollars sending billions of dollars there. And it's like, bro, what the hell? Like, nigga, we should just be focusing on our own country. So we haven't had a president that actually just focused on just our country in forever. You know what I'm saying? For like 5 decades. Isn't that crazy? Even more than that, bro. But it's just like, it's ridiculous.
Up to the task. He's not strong enough. It's me or I don't know who else. But UK is in a mess. We need someone of Trump's level to fix it. Because this guy, Keir, is doing nothing but run it into the ground. And it
we need somebody colder than Trump, to be real.
Really, truly breaks my heart because the UK was the greatest country on earth. And that's why I want to become the prime minister, to restore it to its former glory. Britain and the history of Britain and the amazing things it's achieved. The fact that London is a country where you can't even wear a watch anymore is not just disgraceful.
Yeah, that's fucking wild,
absolutely
bro.
Disgusting. People should face treatment.
I'm be real, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, bro, both of them are bad, like getting shot or getting stabbed, bro. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd much fucking rather, get in a gunfight with a nigga than get stabbed, bro. Fighting a nigga with a knife is fucking wild, bro. You just be slowly dying type shit. You getting stabbed all over the place, bro. You just like, Like, bro, fuck no. I'd rather like, nigga, we just gonna shoot this shit out, bro. Let the best man win, bro. On some like, what's that? Dueling, like, you know, like in the Wild West type shit. You just turn around and just shoot a nigga. Like, I'd rather do that than we get into a knife fight, bro. Ain't nobody winning a knife fight. We just both sit here and just bleed out, bro. Fucking crazy.
Treason charges for what they've done.
Okay, so
treason.
Let me ask you this: first podcast we did, you were a Christian.
Yep.
Second podcast we did, you were a Muslim.
Yep.
Today, are you still a Muslim?
Yes.
You are. Okay. So you talking about UK,
Yep.
right? I lived in Germany at a refugee camp. And I saw
Wow.
first time I ever got stabbed in my life was by another Afghani kid. It was in the airline.
Getting stabbed is wild, bro. I would just, bro. I wouldn't wish. I've never been stabbed before, but I would never wish getting stabbed on my worst enemy, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, bro, that getting stabbed shit, I just can't imagine that shit, bro. Like, it's just not even. I think I actually have a knife here that I keep. Wait, hopefully I can show this on stream. I'm gonna show it anyway. If the stream gets cooked, then fine. You know, we gotta take risks sometimes. But I actually have a knife here too. So it's a switchblade. It's an all black one because my favorite color is black, and it just opens like that. There's a latch right here, and then you just push down on the latch and it'll flick open. Switchblade. This is what it looks like. Nice colorful knife. I bought it a while ago just in case. It's actually I usually just use it to cut shit in like my room, but it's just useful. So hopefully the stream doesn't end because of that. But yeah. But I would not wish getting stabbed on my worst enemy, bro. That shit is ass.
At a refugee camp, we had a fight. Boom, he took it out. Well, I'm like,
hold on. He said, we had a fight. He took out the knife, or he's like, oh shit.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, 11 years old when this happened to me. So you look at stats because I'm a data guy. I think you're also a data guy.
100%.
And I watched you go through it to see how you were going to maneuver around this. I was watching you very closely. I think you and I even exchanged a couple messages one time.
Yeah.
Privately, you and I. I look at stats. 2023, the top name, the number one name in UK, London, is Mohammed.
Correct.
Okay.
That
wasn't
wild,
the case
bro.
when you grew up. That was not the case.
Like, imagine, bro. The top name in the UK is Muhammad in London, bro. Like, in London, bro. Is Muhammad my nigga? So London just the new Middle East, nigga. Isn't that kind of wild, though? Like, you think about UK, it's like imagine, I wonder what the top name in, hold on. See, that makes me actually kind of curious. Now I want to know what is like the top name in, we'll just do whatever US city. Let's try. I'm gonna do, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all so you guys can see. What's the top name in what? Okay, wait. Top name in New York City. Let me see. The top 10, not top 10. What's the top name? Fucking spelling weird. Okay, the top name in New York City, because the top name in London being Muhammad is wild as fuck. Bro, why isn't it just showing me the top name? Okay. Let me see. Most popular name in New York. I don't know why I keep doing name in New York City. Liam's the most popular name in New York City. Okay, let me actually fact check what he said. What's the most popular name in London? Bro, just show me the most popular name, nigga. Top them most popular baby name. This should go be Muhammad. What the fuck, bro? Wait, you guys can't even see this shit. Hold on. Y'all need to see this, bro. The most popular name in London is actually Mohammed, bro. We're actually cooked. Bro, UK is actually cooked, bro. Let me take this ad out. Bro, what the fuck? Yo, that is so wild, bro. And then obviously all the female names are all like white. And the other names are mostly white too, like Noah, Leo, Adam, Alexander, Oliver, Arthur, George, Theodore, David. Like, bro, the fact that the top name is Muhammad is actually so fucking crazy, chat. Like, nigga, London is getting taken over, bro. That's actually crazy, though. Anyway, let's continue, y'all. That's actually wild, though.
Case.
It's true.
When you look at stats, 27% of prisoners in London jail are Muslims.
Yep.
Crazy.
Where the population's only 6%.
That's right.
You hear the arguments about Sharia law, what they're
So
saying.
that means that these niggas are having way more kids than the average British man in England. Because think about it. If Muslims are only taking up 6% of the population, but Muhammad is the most popular baby name, it must mean that they're having children at a higher rate than the average British man is. Unless or the Muhammad wouldn't be the most popular name. It wouldn't make sense, you know? So it's like, it goes to show that Britain is not going to look like Britain in a few hundred years, to be real. Because if all the babies are getting named Muhammad, then they're all being born in England, bruh. And then they have kids too, and they're having more kids than all the white people that live there. England's not going to look like England no more. I mean, London already doesn't look like London already. So it's actually really wild when you think about it, because 6% of the population is Muslims, but the most popular baby name is Muhammad. They're just having kids at a way higher rate. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy stuff, bro.
You hear your fellow who you've spoken to before, you guys have collaborated before, Tommy Robinson. He makes his arguments on what's going on with
Wild stuff.
with what do you call
We'll keep cooking for like 5 more minutes. I'll keep going for like 5 more minutes, and then we'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST.
with
Grooming
UK.
gangs.
Yeah. And then I look at some of the tweets. Here's a couple of the tweets that you had for people reacting to you because you were going strong to what was going on in UK. And you said, if you don't believe in the way the system that UK has, get out. I don't care who you are.
Naturally.
You were very clear about it.
Correct.
You were very thorough about it.
Correct.
And that seems fair, right? Like, okay, if you go somewhere and it has rules that you don't like, it's only natural for you to just leave and not be there. It's just weird to try to force yourself into a place that does not abide by the rules that you want to abide by. It's just a great way to make your life ridiculously hard for no fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? You really should just leave. So he is correct to be like, just get the fuck out. Because, nigga, why are you here? If, for example, if you come to my house and I say, hey, you got to take your shoes off when you come in the house, and you're like, no, I want to keep my shoes on. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Then get out. Like, if you don't want to follow my rules for being here, then don't be here. You can't come in here and say, you can't come to my house and then tell me, no, I'm going to keep my shoes on because that's what I want to do. And that's how I operate. It's like, no, you have to be considerate of what other niggas got going on. It's like a lot of problems would be solved in the world if we just put the right people in the right places, rather than trying to force everybody into every single place everywhere, which what we essentially been doing in the West, and what's essentially been happening in the UK is trying to force a bunch of people, namely Muslims, into white areas. The white people want to operate a certain way. The Muslims want to operate under Sharia law. So what ends up happening is that you're going to conflict because both of you guys want to operate completely differently. Whereas if you just stay where you are and where everybody just stays wherever they want to be alone to do whatever, to operate whatever way they want to operate, it puts everybody in a better position because now nobody has to worry about like, oh, you're behaving a way that I don't like. Well, if you live somewhere else, live where I am, then I'm not going to worry about you, So a lot of problems in the world are really just because we're putting the wrong people in the wrong places. Like we're putting people with conflicting views. It's like, it's just bad. It's just stupid. It's just like having a gay rally right in front of a church. You see what I'm saying? It's like conflicting. Obviously going to cause problems.
A response came back to you from the Muslim community, and it wasn't pretty. They were attacking you, right?
Yep.
And one of your response here that I have on the tweet, it says, Islam hate comes from Muslims who think they have to defend the disgusting actions that other Muslims commit instead of admitting that a religion can be perfect and people are not.
Yep.
Muslim must condemn the disgusting child rape openly and verbally, or the entire religion will be done.
Naturally.
And then you respond back,
That makes
Muslims who
sense.
refuse to understand the crying Islamophobia instead of addressing the serious issue is only going to garner reassessment. These grooming gangs would not be tolerated in an Islamic country. It's time for Muslims to stand up against all. And then there's more of these that I can read.
Yep.
Okay. And even to go back on what happened when
Actually, we'll stop right here.
made about Jesus Christ. You remember that?
We'll stop right here because it's actually, I'll talk more extensively about this shit tomorrow, what he's going into, because it is actually really interesting when you think about that shit. So real quick, I'm going to just shout out all the socials for you boys so we can grow the fam everywhere, of course, if you enjoying the vibes and fucking with the shit I be talking about. So I will pull up the XXXX. All right, IG2. I'll just fly through these shits real quick. All right. So if you fucking with this shit on stream, definitely fuck with your boy on YouTube. Unless you're already watching me on YouTube, then if you're already watching me on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed and liking my shit, of course. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go to fam everywhere. So Ali Argodati, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean, okay. I just want to make sure I was in Prezi mode. Yeah. So like, fuck with your boy on here. I actually just dropped a video. This is actually a hella good video about understanding what it actually takes to believe in yourself. Because I feel like a lot of niggas talk about, oh, I should believe in myself. Like, it's important to believe in yourself, bro. You should always have self-belief. But nobody really talks about how to get it. They just say have it. It's like, nigga, how do I just have something that I don't know how to get, understand? So it's like, definitely check that video out because I fuck with that shit. And obviously, be streaming every day through YouTube, through X, through Rumble, 6 p.m. Eastern time every single day. If this is your first time pulling up, of course. So fuck with your boy on YouTube if you're not already just watching from there. And fuck with your boy on IG. I've actually posted most on IG, with literally 2,000, right? But fuck with your boy on IG. You know what I'm saying? We got to grow the fam everywhere. As I said, I'll be just posting like funny skits on here, as well as just like some more perspective, like thread type content, similar to what I post on X, but it's just like in a different format with some anime in the background, and also success tips too. So fuck with your boy on here, Ali Argudade. And then also too, as I just mentioned, fuck with me on X too. My X and thread content is pretty much the same, like threads from IG. But yeah, I also be just talking about other like, you know, like political stuff and like news and women being dumb or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole 9 yards I'm there. So nobody, oh, I got one view on X right now. So shout out to your boy watching me on X right now. Follow your boy on X, my friend. Follow your boy on X, bro. I'll be going super hard on this motherfucker. I'm only going to go harder. So fuck with your boy on there. And then last but not least, TikTok on the clock. Yeah, follow your boy on TikTok, man. Party don't stop. My TikTok low. Yeah, follow your boy on TikTok, man. Trying to grow a lot on here because I know a lot of younger guys aren't here, and like for the most part, like the content I make is for younger guys. So you know what I'm saying. Trying to blow up on here as well. Ali Argudada, you know what I'm saying. Even if you don't really fuck with TikTok, you like just download it for your boy. You know what I'm saying. Got to grow the fam everywhere. So, and if you don't want to do none of that shit, bare minimum, like the stream. Whether you're on YouTube, X, or Rumble, just like the stream. So if you don't fuck with me, at least more guys who do fuck with me can see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Grow the fam. We blow up. I become rich and famous in the whole 9 yards. Because, you know, why else would I be doing this shit, of course? But yeah. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to catch you boys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Appreciate you pulling up. Love you, fam. Deuce.